Hello there and welcome to Verdict 2016, your one stop for the latest from the poll-bound states. Another phase of voting over in West Bengal. We'll get you details of that. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. Polling concludes in the fourth phase of elections in West Bengal. High voter turnout recorded in the 49 constituencies in 3 districts. Police cases are filed against West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and TMC leader Derek O'Brien for the use of morphed picture of Home Minister Rajnath Singh with CPI leader Prakash Karat. And in Tamil Nadu, political bigwigs Chief Minister Jayalalitha and DMK Chief M. Karunanidhi filed their nomination papers. But first, let's get you all the latest from West Bengal. The fourth phase of polling just ended a short while back. Well, over 67% voter turnout was recorded till about 3 p.m. in 49 constituencies in the fourth phase. And while overall voting was peaceful, police arrested a number of people in various poll-related incidents. Here are all the details.
Polling for 49 constituencies started at 7 a.m. amid tight security. Over 1 crore voters were scheduled to cast their ballots in 12,500 polling stations in North Parganas, Bidhannagar and Howrah districts.
सिक्योरिटी चाहते हैं और ये जो पानी का प्रॉब्लम है ये बहुत है ये तो बरसात का 2 महीना हम लोग को तंग करके रखता है
चाहती हूँ कि जिसको वोट दिए है वो जीते और देश के लिए मतलब वेस्ट बंगाल के लिए अच्छा काम करे.
The Election Commission deployed 90,000 security personnel, including Central Armed Forces, in the 3 districts to ensure free and fair elections. 5 police observers of IAS rank kept a vigil on the law and order situation. Nearly 180 people were arrested for bogus voting and booth capturing. In the Howrah North seat, Trinamool candidate and former cricketer Lakshmi Ratan Shukla lodged a complaint against BJP leader and former actress Rupa Ganguly for disrupting the polling process. The outcome of the fourth phase will decide the fate of many Trinamool Congress ministers, including Finance Minister Amit Mitra, Agriculture Minister Purnendu Basu, Law Minister Chandrima Bhattacharya and Tourism Minister Bratya Basu. Former TMC Minister Madan Mitra is contesting from the Kamarhati seat in North 24 Parganas district. Mitra was arrested by CBI in December 2014 in the multi-crore rupee Sharda chit fund scam. In all, 345 candidates are contesting the fourth phase. 40 of them are women.
এখানে দাঁড়িয়ে পুজো দিলাম মনে করলাম যে কল্যাণেশ্বর তো বিরাট জাগ্রত আর ওখানে আমাদের বেনারসেও বিশ্বনাথ প্রচন্ড জাগ্রত এই ঠাকুর.
Polling for the 5th and the 6th or the last phase will be held on April 30th and May 5th for 53 and 25 constituencies. Results for the polls will be announced on May 19th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
All right, to take us through the significance of this particular phase, we've got in studio TK Rajalakshmi, who's the deputy editor with Frontline, joining us here in studio. If you could, you were just telling me about the significance of this particular phase, TMC strongholds, definitely North 24 Parganas, and of course Howrah as well. Give us a sense of, how crucial this is going to be for the TMC.
See, of the 49 seats that are in this segment, the TMC had won 43 out of the 49 in the
in the previous election,
in the 2011 polls, assembly polls. So in that sense, it's very significant for it to sort of retain its, its base here. And these seats are, considered this area itself is considered its stronghold as such, But as you have seen, this entire controversy over the morphed pictures, etc. So there's a sense, there's also some talk that that there's a feeling of desperation, in the
which is of course
party.
The left is what is claiming that the kind of violence that we are seeing in all the other parts. We did see the death of 3 people as
absolutely.
And all this is leading up to showing perhaps that the TMC is getting a bit desperate.
Right, and also this latest, we had Rajya Sabha MP who held a press conference based on those morphed pictures, which they also put on their website, which later they had to retract.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it really, and now of course cases have been filed against both the CM as well as
and
the
Derek
concerned-
O'Brien
yeah,
as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So in a sense, and in fact, the vote share of the TMC, in fact, had dipped in the Lok Sabha elections of 2014. In this region, in this very region, as compared to the previous assembly polls.
Yes.
So if this decline is I think is some kind of an indication of the let's say of the disenchantment of the voter
Yes.
against the ruling party. So then I think the desperation also sort of heightens up, and it sort of manifests in various
Yes.
forms.
The
So, yeah.
left and the Congress coming together, that in itself was a talking point for quite a lot, especially for us who are, looking at the politics of the state. But, internally, as far as the TMC is concerned, a lot of people and a lot of opinions that we're getting from within the party is that perhaps the more concern that they have is really of the BJP and the BJP eating into its share, the TMC share. Is that the kind of opinions that you're getting as well when you're looking at, the state by and large and the phases that have gone so far? 4 phases, in fact 5 rounds of voting, if you could say so. Yeah,
Not so much. I think it's still I think very much bipolar election with of course the TMC on one side and you have the Congress and the left on the other end, and it's become I think bipolar because of this, because of the left and the Congress sort of coming together in a sense. Of course there's no formal alliance. They are sort of supporting each other on seats, but there's no formal alliance as such.
Yes.
But it seems to be sort of working, and it seems to be working in the sense of the voter turnout has been, I think, quite good. And then there have been a series of scams, the chit fund scam,
Yes.
and then the sting, the Narada sting that happened. And then we have one candidate, in fact, the sports, and transport minister who is contesting from jail.
Yes.
So I think there are certain kinds of unprecedented sort of events that are that have characterized these elections, and
Yes.
which I think because I think the West Bengal voter is a discerning voter, and if people say that these are not going to have an impact, I mean I have my doubts really.
And the next phase coming very quickly, of course, in the next 4 days. It's so on the 30th is when it's going to take place. Anything that we need to watch out for, something significant among the leaders, of course. We do have Rupa Ganguly, of course, and she's having her own share of the limelight, her own share of drama that's taking place, an FIR being filed against her as well. But apart from that, anything that we could watch out for?
See, violence is something which despite all the the presence of CRPF and other forms of paramilitary forces, violence is something that was not really expected at this scale. There have been CPM supporters who've been attacked, who've been killed too.
Yes.
So in fact in the third phase there was real violence which the CPM had anticipated. I think they did submit representations to the EC. The BJP has also submitted representations to the EC.
Yes.
So the kind of violence also perhaps indicates a certain sense of desperation maybe, which
Yes.
people can interpret it as a form of desperation maybe on the part of the ruling party. So I think violence is going to be an issue of concern, which I think the Election Commission as well as
and they of course have been keeping an eye out really.
True.
Several warnings of course have been given to Chief Minister and of course the government at large, the police as well. But of course not stopping really, even though we are not seeing the loss of lives, but yet we are seeing a lot of polling violence. But thanks so much, Rajya for joining us, giving us a sense of what to expect in the next phase as well. Meanwhile, police cases were registered against West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and TMC leader Derek O'Brien, as mentioned by Rajya over the use of a morphed picture of Home Minister Rajnath Singh with CPM leader Prakash Karat. The BJP and the CPM in fact went to the police separately against the Trinamool Congress. First, the BJP lodging a complaint against the 3 TMC leaders, including the party supremo Mamata Banerjee, alleging that they were responsible for the use of a morphed picture and demanded immediate arrests. CPM and the Congress also attacked the TMC, saying that the incident showed the frustration of the ruling party in the state amid the fear of losing the assembly polls. CPM leader Prakash Karat filed a complaint with the Delhi police against TMC leader Derek O'Brien. Karat clarified that he never had an opportunity to meet the Home Minister and it was an attempt to defame him and his party. The matter, of course, came to light after the TMC posted a picture on its website following a press conference of Derek O'Brien However, the party removed that morphed picture from its website after the controversy erupted.
उनका राजनीतिक मकसद था ये दिखाने के लिए कि हमारे और भाजपा के नेताओं के बीच में दोस्ती है और सरासर जो झूठ है कि ऐसे कोई घटना तो हुई नहीं है। हम तो श्री राजनाथ सिंह से अभी तक कभी मिले भी नहीं हैं।
Morphing pictures of the current Prime Minister of the country, of the current Home Minister of the country. Such an act has never happened before. We have complained to the police and those who were perpetrating this crime and those who instructed this should immediately be arrested.
All right. Meanwhile, in Kerala, former Chief Minister and veteran leader V.S. Achyutanandan filed his nomination papers for the May 16th Assembly polls today. 92-year-old Achyutanandan is contesting from the Malampura constituency in Palakkad. CPM Politburo member Pinarayi Vijayan, who is contesting from Dharmadam seat, also submitted his nomination at the Kannur electorate. Achyutanandan later expressed confidence that he will come back to power with a huge majority. With that, a quick break here, but still ahead, we're getting you the latest news from Tamil Nadu, where MDMK chief Vaiko has announced that he will not be contesting the upcoming elections.
%39% area of the country is under drought. सावन के महीने में एक पाव दाल लाए. सावन. August is when she had last cooked dal in her house. Malya can run away with 9,000 crore rupees. 1,14,000 crore rupees of corporate debt can be written off, and they don't have money to offer 2 kgs of dal.
Watch State of the Economy with Swaraj Abhiyan leader Yogendra Yadav on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back to Verdict 2016, where now we're getting you news from Tamil Nadu. Chief Minister Jayalalitha and DMK Supremo M. Karunanidhi filed their nomination papers today. AIDMK Chief Jayalalitha filed her candidature from the RK Nagar constituency. She was greeted by hundreds of enthusiastic party workers and people en route to the electoral office. Jayalalitha won the by-election in RK Nagar constituency in June 2015 with a huge margin of over 1.5 lakh votes. Meanwhile, seeking a re-election, former 5-time Chief Minister and veteran leader Karunanidhi filed his nomination from his native Thiruvarur constituency. Karunanidhi has a record of winning in all the assembly elections that he has contested so far since his debut in 1957. Before filing his nomination, Karunanidhi paid floral tributes at the memorial of his mother at Kattur. Meanwhile, election authorities seized 3.39 crore rupees and 245 grams of gold at Krishnagiri district in Polbound, Tamil Nadu. Authorities discovered the illegal money in the premises of a private school that falls under the Uttangarai constituency. Further investigations are underway. On Saturday, 11.33 crore rupees was recovered after searches at some places in Karur, Coimbatore and Chennai. As many as 702 flying squads and 712 surveillance teams are working in the state to curb the use of black money during the single-phase elections on the 16th of May. The state has seen the maximum cash seizure of over 47 crore rupees till now, out of the total 70 crores in all the 5 poll-bound states. All right, for more, let's get a word in from our correspondent Kriti Mishra, who's been tracking all those developments in Tamil Nadu, joining us now from Dindigul district. Kriti, first of all, just give us an idea really of how, the political situation is looking at the moment, inching up closely to, of course, voting day. And today, the filing of those nominations, the papers, in fact, by those two very, very crucial candidates.
Well, that's right, Tracy. The incumbent Chief Minister Jayalalitha filed her nomination papers from RK Nagar constituency today. She was greeted by thousands of AIADMK supporters who gave her a rousing reception. Remember, she had won in 2011 from Sri Ranganam constituency. However, she was disqualified as a MLA following her conviction by the trial court in the disproportionate assets case in 2014. She only returned as Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu on May 23, 2015, following her acquittal by the Karnataka High Court. And in the by-polls in RK Nagar constituency, in 2015, she had recorded an impressive victory and won by a margin of more than 150,000 votes. So at that point of time, she had said that people of RK Nagar constituency reside in her heart. So she hopes to replicate that kind of victory once again. And as far as Karunanidhi is concerned, of course, he filed his nomination papers from Thiruvarur today. Remember, he is the incumbent MLA. That is his native town. And this has been the stronghold and bastion of DMK since 1996. And Karunanidhi himself holds this record of winning all the elections. So this time around, stakes are higher for him because he hopes to trounce the incumbent AIADMK government in the state. Over to you, Tracy.
All right, we leave it there for now. Thanks so much, Kriti, for joining us with those details. Meanwhile, staying with the state and an important development that we saw today, MDMK chief and the convener of the Vijaykanth PWF coalition, Vaiko, has withdrawn his candidature from the upcoming assembly elections. Announcing his withdrawal in the press release today, Vaiko said that the DMK was campaigning on casteist lines in the Kovilpatti district. He also alleged that the DMK and its Kovilpatti candidate were engineering protests against him in the district. PWF will now field Vinayak G. Ramesh as its candidate, replacing Vaiko. Now, Erode city in Erode district of Tamil Nadu is known as Turmeric City or Yellow City on account of the production of turmeric. Elections come and go, but problems of turmeric farmers of Erode district do not subside. The farmers' long-pending demand of proper marketing facilities that could help fetch good deal for their cash crops remains unfulfilled. Here's a report.
C. Mahalingam, a farmer in Erode, paying for bountiful rain this year. He plans to switch to onion cultivation from turmeric for better margins. He says the ideal temperature for turmeric cultivation is 20 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius. If it gets hotter, then the crop and soil dries up, requiring irrigation every 4 days. And with scarcity of water, cultivating turmeric has become expensive.
விவசாயிகளுக்கெல்லாம் ஒன்றும் நட்டமெல்லாம் லாபமெல்லாம் எதிர்பார்க்க முடியாது மஞ்சள் அலுவலகத்தில் இருக்கிறவங்களா அவங்களுக்கு தான் லாபம்.
Turmeric farmers in the region are struggling to make ends meet. With the weather playing truant, erratic price fluctuations and lack of knowledge and infrastructure to market their products, farmers are unable to make a living out of turmeric cultivation.
Naturally, the transport and charges, labor charges, manufacturing fluctuation, water, natural calamity problems totally affects this industry.
Ahead of the crucial assembly polls, leaders across party line are promising various measures to help farmers.
விவசாயிகளுக்காக பல்வேறு திட்டங்கள் இப்பொழுது தலைமையால் அறிவிக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது, கட்சியால் அறிவிக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. குறிப்பாக மஞ்சள் விவசாயிகள் என்று எடுத்துக்கொண்டால் அவர்களுக்கு ஒரு ஒருங்கிணைந்த மஞ்சள் வளாகம் இல்லை.
குடோன் அது ஸ்டாக் வைப்பதற்காக குடோன் வசதியும் செய்யப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. வரும் ஆட்சி காலத்திலும் இன்னும் அதிகப்படியான விவசாயிகளுக்கும் நிறைய வசதிகள் செய்ய திட்டங்கள் தீட்டப்பட்டுள்ளது.
There is no laboratory to check the curcumin content in the turmeric, and with no e-platform to market their goods, many farmers have switched to sowing other crops. This has led to the fall in production from 14,725 tons during 2011 to 12 to 4,374 tons during 2014 to 15 in Coimbatore Erode belt. The price of turmeric has been hovering between 7,000 and 8,000 per quintal for the past 4 years, showing no signs of revival, further distressing farmers.
Establishment of an integrated farmers or an e-platform may help Erode turmeric farmers with which they can identify national and international rates. While all the political parties have extensively used social media and internet for election campaigns, we just hope that the next government uses e-platform to bail out turmeric farmers of Erode. Reporting from Erode with camera person Prem, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Now, single-phase elections in the 234 assembly seats in the state are scheduled to take place next month. And the state's capital, Chennai, with 16 assembly seats, is a crucial area which would play a decisive role in deciding the fate of the two main Dravidian parties of the state, the ruling AIDMK and the opposition, the DMK.
Located on the Coromandel coast of the Bay of Bengal, Chennai is one of the biggest cultural, economic and educational centers in the country. Known as the Detroit of South Asia for its automobile industry, the port city has a population of over 46 lakhs and over 90% of it is literate. But today, we are going to focus on the 16 assembly seats in the city that are going to polls on 16th of May. Of the 16 assembly seats in Chennai, the AIA-DMK has 11 seats in the present assembly. DMK and DMDK have 2 seats each and 1 seat is occupied by the left. The 3 Lok Sabha seats were won by AIA-DMK in 2014.
Investments are also not coming. In fact, people are going to other states. Employment. Employment is another serious issue which is affecting us. So these are the serious problems as far as this election is concerned.
Around 36 lakh voters will cast their vote in the upcoming assembly elections. The main election issues in the city remain price rise and corruption. While unemployment and sale of alcohol are also important election issues, the devastating rains in the capital last year could also have a bearing on how the city votes on 16th of May.
During the flooded period, people were very upset on the fundamentals not being met and not being addressed at the specific point in time. People are very much affected in terms of economy. So economical point is concerned, the businesses are very down.
The AIA-DMK is confident of a comeback on the basis of development in the last 5 years. The opposition, however, begs to differ.
Definitely our numbers will increase without the help of BJP. Probably the Dravidian parties, because definitely it is going to be a hung parliament. Anti-incumbency is there, but DMK has not encashed that anti-incumbency. Third front, if the PMK, DMDK, BJP, WASL and all the other parties, as we thought, would have combined, definitely it would have been a challenging alliance, but it has not happened. But because of the five-cornered fight, BJP may encash this situation.
The TMC agenda will always be for the prosperity of the poor people, downtrodden, SC, ST and minority. We will always like to see that the lifestyle of these people in the society develops on a higher way.
While the Dravidian parties and the newly formed Third Front Alliance are confident of winning, the traditional anti-incumbency factor cannot be ignored. With new fronts emerging in the state, challenging the dominance of the AIA-DMK and DMK, the election battle is a tough multi-cornered contest. Ravindra Shoran's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And before we end, let's get you all the poll snippets in our section Poll Puri. The Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry removed chairmen of various corporations and boards from their posts. Chief Secretary Manoj Paridar gave the charge of the 16 corporations and boards to government secretaries. Opposition parties had alleged that political appointees were misusing their position in these bodies. Congress President Sonia Gandhi will address rallies in Thiruvananthapuram and Thrissur on the 9th of May, while Party Vice President Rahul Gandhi will be in the state on the 12th of May. BJP leaders Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh, Arun Jaitley, Sushma Swaraj, Nirmala Sitharaman and Smriti Irani are also expected to address meetings in the state. The Election Commission has refused to put curbs on any hospitalization-related matters. This after the West Bengal opposition sought its intervention, alleging a possible shifting of jail TMC leader Madan Mitra to a hospital before the 4th phase of assembly elections. Contesting polls on a TMC ticket, Madan Mitra is lodged in Alipur jail in the multi-crore Sharda chit fund scam. Mitra has been barred to cast his vote. And that's all we have for you on Verdict 2016. Thanks for joining us.